Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. Today, we're doing a 2-month review of the Vision Spinner. So we're going to take the tank off because video is not about this tank. And we're going to put the tank like that, facing upwards so that it doesn't leak. Remember to do that. Do not put it on its side ever. So after 2 months of using this battery, I now know the good things and the bad things about this battery, and especially as I've looked at other batteries, I can compare it, especially price-wise. Excuse me while I have a drink of coffee. My 2 stimulants in the early afternoon is an amazing thing. So, let's just talk about a little bit about the battery before I go into the pros and cons. First of all, this is a 1300 mAh version of the Vision Spinner. This right now, I believe, is the biggest version, or the biggest battery of the first version of the Vision Spinner. There's a Vision Spinner 2 coming out soon. It will probably have a bigger battery, but this is the biggest one right now. Of this one, I believe the Ego Twists have bigger batteries. So if you want to get a Vision or a Spinner style, which is the variable voltage spinner at the bottom, and you want a bigger battery, I think you can go with the Ego Twist. But there are pros and cons, this versus the Ego Twist, that you may want to keep in mind. We'll go over those when I get into the pros and cons of this battery. So it's a spinner, which means it goes from 3.3 volts, if you can see that, all the way to 4.8 volts, which is decent for a starter battery. I mean, when you get into variable wattage, that's nothing. So you want to keep that in mind. There are better options for a first e-cigarette than this, and I'll go over those at the end of the video. So this is the plastic one, and we'll also go through the cons of getting the plastic one in the cons section of the video. And this is, so a little bit, okay, so let's see. This is not a pass-through battery, which means you can't vape and charge it at the same time. It has roughly a 12-hour battery life for me, the way I use it, and then it takes anywhere between 8 and 12 hours to charge. That's what I found. Although it may be my charger, I highly doubt it's my charger, because I've used our other charger and it's a better charger, and it still takes about 12 hours. So a couple things you need to know about owning one of these. Do not charge it while it's plugged in. Do not plug it into your computer to charge it, because it will break your computer and it could cause your battery to explode. What you want to use is like a little brick, like a little wall brick, like what comes with your iPod. That's what I use, is the one that I use for my iPod, that came with my iPod. Oh, excuse me. Coffee burps. You want to make sure that the voltage or the wattage coming out of that charging brick is okay for this battery, because this battery will explode if you don't use the right charger. I could pull up a link and show you some of these blown up batteries from using the wrong battery or the wrong charger. So make sure you're doing that, and keep in mind that you should. I charge it while I'm sleeping. You should not do that, but I do, because I like to vape in the morning, and if my battery dies while I'm in bed, I need to plug it in. That's got to happen. So what I would recommend is, if you're gonna get this, get a backup. Get like a little one to vape in bed, or like take this one out with you, because it's a big battery. So use it while you're at work, and you got to be there for 8 hours. When you get home, plug it in. Pull your other battery out. Then you got a backup. And then when you get up in the morning or get ready, you can plug that one in and charge it. But yeah. So that's all you really need to do about it. It's got the button here. That's pretty much it. And then if you want to turn it off, press it 5 times really quickly, and you'll see the blinking. And then press it again, and now it's on. So let's go through the pros and cons. First, let's do the pros. This does offer a good vape for what it is. It's decent. You saw one in the beginning of the video. That's it. 4.8 volts with a 1.8 ohm 10 wrap coil at 28 gauge Kanthal. That's a home wrapped coil. I've actually done better coils than that, but this, I just wanted to throw a new one in before I did this, so I threw a new coil in, and I did a bunch of coils really quickly, so they're not all that good. I do like that it's variable voltage, although a variable wattage and a variable voltage battery is better, and there are cheaper ones. I'll go over that later. The spinner on this is awesome. I've used the Ego Twist, and it is much harder to read the voltage on the Ego Twist, and it's much easier to actually spin the spinner, which is not a good thing, because if you have this in your pocket, which, by the way, if you have it in your pocket, turn it off. If you have it in your pocket, it's going to move around, and you don't want that, because, if you take it out of your pocket and you want to get a vape now, and you've got like 2 seconds to get a vape, you don't want it to be somewhere else so that you have to look at it and fine-tune it again, which is why, I just keep mine at 4.8, so I know exactly just spin it all the way that way. So make sure you keep that in mind if you want to get the Ego Twist and the Vision Spinner, or whichever one. I like that it's very easy to use. One button, screw on to charge, turn this to pick your voltage, that's it. Done. So it's very easy to use. It takes little or no know-how. The lady at the shop that I bought it at ran me through everything about it in like 5 minutes. I knew everything I needed to know. I did a little bit of Googling later on, but I found out I just knew everything I needed to know about the battery off from the start. And I guess the last one on my little sheet here is that it's easy to read. So I guess I already went over that. So I guess let's go over the cons. It's not very well constructed. Most of these cheap batteries aren't. Let me show you what I mean. This is a plastic version. They have metal versions, and I believe if you get the metal version, you will not have this problem. I hope, and I'm pretty sure you won't have this problem. But the issue is that it's metal here, it's plastic here, and the way they do that is, you see this line right here? There is metal that goes into the tank about that far, I'd say about a half an inch, with like rivets on it to keep it from coming out. Unfortunately, it still does. So this battery, I have to keep pushing back into the housing while I'm using it, and when I have the tank on, it's crooked. Like, you can't tell, but I can tell. So I guess because it's a round e-cigarette and it's crooked now, it won't roll, which is also a con. I'll go over that later. So it's a good thing and a bad thing, but it can also mean that your e-cigarette can break a lot easier, because this is coming in and out, and there's wires connected to this, which means the wire could pull out of the soldering. Bad. So if you're going to get the Vision Spinner, get the metal one, or wait for the Vision Spinner 2, which might have that problem fixed. This could have been easily fixed. They could have put a screw in or something, and that wouldn't happen. The recharge time is a little bit ridiculous, especially since they recommend that you watch your e-cigarette while it's charging. This thing takes 12 hours to charge on a good charger. I plugged this in last night at 1 in the morning. It is now 1 o'clock, and I just took this off the charger 20 minutes ago. That's fucking ridiculous. Nothing should take that long to charge that's this small and with such a small battery. So keep that in mind. If you need to be vaping while you're in bed, if you wake up and you need to vape, you can't use it because it's charging, and you don't want to upset the charging process. So get a backup battery if you're going to get this, or better yet, don't get this battery. Get an MVP2 or Provari. Spend the money on a Provari or a VTR. That's a great battery too if you're just getting into this. If you have the money, spend the money. You're going to be saving money by not smoking cigarettes anyway, so just spend the money. I wish I had. I spent $55 on this when I could have gotten an MVP2 for $15 less. Totally regret this battery sometimes. It's not pass-through, and that's unfortunate. I wish the Ego batteries could be pass-through, and I know there's some batteries this shape now that are pass-through. I just saw one this morning, and it's also got a screen. I cannot remember off the top of my head what it is, but I believe it's by Innokin. And not pass-through means you can't vape it while you're charging, because you have to screw your charger in right up here where the tank would normally go. So you can't charge this and vape it at the same time. sucks. The battery life is unfortunate. Like I can use it from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, but a couple hours before I'm starting to before I want to go to bed, it's starting to lose charge, and that sucks because you're not getting as good of hits like right after dinner when you want a good hit. That's like right after when you'd be smoking a cigarette right after dinner. That's when you can't get good hits. It sucks. And then the last one is that it rolls like this, roll, and it's rolling off the table. That's what I don't like about the Ego style batteries is they roll, and rolling means things break. You don't want that, which is why I now recommend box mods like the MVP2. That's actually the one I recommend the most. 26-hour battery, pass through, comes with I believe a Nautilus tank, the iClear Nautilus tank, I believe. I think it's a dual coil. I know that it's variable. It's got adjustable airflow. It's cool. But that's really all I have to say about this battery because I'm not upset with it. It works. It's got good vaping. So I can't really complain. It's gotten me off of cigarettes, and it's lasted 2 months. And I've seen people, their Ego batteries will last like a month and then die. Tasty. But so that's my review on the Vision Spinner. That's it. It's okay. I give it. I mean, I don't like to give like number of stars ratings or number ratings or whatever. But if I had to give it a rating, give it 3 out of 5. 3.5 out of 5. Because I mean, it costed me more than it should have. It costed me $10 at least more than I should have spent on it. And it's poorly constructed. I mean, it is a first version of. It's their first version, so you can't. It's like saying, "Oh, the first version of this phone is shit." Well, yeah, it's shit. It's gonna have bugs, but I mean, you can't. I have my complaints, and I've made them clear. So. That's it. You guys have a good day.